Sales of the EcoSport have been slow in Germany, our car tester Michel Assenmacher says, so Ford has given it a facelift, but the changes lie in the details. It started to rain, so we're going to hop inside. The body has hardly changed, but Ford has revised it to make the EcoSport more fun to drive on European roads. To date, the model has done well only in South America. It's been available from European dealers for 18 months, but so far has failed to win over buyers. Developers have realized that Europeans view the EcoSport as a city, not an off-road vehicle. So they revised the suspension, lowered the ride height by 10 millimeters, and retuned the steering. Michelle likes the SUV-like seat height, but the steering is a bit squishy, and she'd like more road feedback. Engineers have applied some spit and polish to the interior. They've added chrome trim and high-gloss piano black finishes in the cockpit. Still, the 4-inch screen feels outdated. Nothing has changed in the trunk. It still holds 1,240 liters. Michelle points out that the biggest visible change is at the rear, where designers have dropped the hatchback-mounted spare wheel. The reason was aesthetic. Potential buyers simply didn't like it. So some dealers went ahead and removed the spare wheel themselves in the hope of making the car more attractive. The spare wheel is still available as an extra feature, naturally at extra cost. The Ford EcoSport has a Fiesta-based chassis and is the smallest member of the company's SUV family. The titanium version that we tested comes with a silver-colored roof rack. The manufacturer says the 1-liter 92-kilowatt gasoline engine has a consumption of 5.4 liters per 100 kilometers. The titanium version is priced around 20,800 euros in Germany. Michelle's verdict is that the EcoSport doesn't have much pickup. She needs to keep it high up the rev range, which in turn increases gasoline consumption. Nevertheless, Ford says the 1-liter EcoBoost engine is the most popular. For drivers looking for more than 92 kilowatts, there's a new variant coming out in the spring. Equipped with a more powerful engine and sportier design, the S-Line is designed to broaden the car's appeal. Michelle says if you're not after bells and whistles but still want a cozy and above all straightforward car, then the EcoSport is perfect. With a starting price at under 20,000 euros, it offers great value for money. Competition in the subcompact car market is fierce. Some manufacturers try to woo customers with extra space, while others invest in high-tech and provide additional assists. Today, we compare two subcompact cars, the Korean i10, which offers extra space, and the Japanese Aygo, equipped with the pre-collision assistant, known from higher vehicle classes. We'll begin our test with the Aygo. Test driver Matas Kurat says the Aygo has tight gearing, which is good because you often have to change gears. The engine isn't very powerful, under less than 4,000 revolutions, so drivers need to keep their foot on the gas. He also points out that the engine is rather loud, which makes it feel almost like a race car. Toyota offers one engine in the Aygo, a 1-liter 3-cylinder with a power output of 51 kilowatts. It is supposed to use just 4.1 liters for 100 kilometers, but city traffic will burn much more fuel. Mattes says that air conditioning systems draw a lot of power from a small engine. After turning it off, the car runs much smoother. This effect is less pronounced with a 150 kilowatt engine than with a 50 kilowatt engine, he explains. The tester says that an unrestricted view is important for city cars, but this car's low back windows make parking tricky.
Hochgehende Fensterlinie, so im hinteren Bereich, dann doch ein bisschen was an Überblick fehlt, den man sich dann manchmal beim Einparken wünschen würde. Schade eigentlich. Schauen wir uns mal an.
He examines the back of the car and likes that it has 5 doors. But Mattes criticizes that getting inside isn't easy because the car is small and there is little legroom.
Hier hereinzukommen und auch mit der Kniefreiheit, da ist es jetzt nicht so weit her gut.
Particularly tall or big people might struggle, he notes. And if you install an infant or baby car seat, there is very little space.
Das schon schwierig vor. Oder auch wenn man hier, weil es gibt ja serienmäßig natürlich Isofix-Halterungen hier auf den beiden Rücksitzen, eine Babyschale dran machen möchte oder einen Kindersitz, dann ist der Platz doch ein bisschen knapp. Naja.
Außerdem And the back windows can't be cranked open or lowered mechanically, but only popped out. Mattes takes a look at the Hyundai i10 and points out its larger door. This means that getting into the car is much easier. Also, the back windows can be fully lowered by pressing a button. Mattes then examines the front of the car. The Hyundai i10 has been on the market for 2 years. Its entry price is 10,000 euros in Germany, so this is an option for customers on a limited budget. The car accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 15 seconds. Not spectacularly fast, but enough for city commutes. Like the Toyota Aygo, the Hyundai is also powered by a 3-cylinder, 1-liter engine. And just like with the Toyota Aygo, you really need to keep the motor in the i10 in high revs, which also increases fuel consumption considerably. The Hyundai's small engine has a power output of 49 kilowatts, which allows for a maximum speed of 155 kilometers per hour. The manufacturer claims that it uses 4.7 liters per 100 kilometers on average, but in reality, it usually doesn't get such good mileage. A good view is essential for city cars, Mattes points out. Here, too, the i10 is ahead of the Aygo. The rear windows are lower than in the Aygo, so it's easier to see what's behind and to the right, Mattes tells us. This helps also when parking. So what's the verdict on these 2 city cars?
Grundsätzlich bedienen beide Autos ja das gleiche.
Mattes says that both cars are in the same segment, but they target different customer groups. While the Toyota Aygo has a very youthful, lively, and sporty feel to it, the Hyundai i10 has a more serious, grown-up touch. Mattes prefers the i10 because it offers more space, while the Aygo feels somewhat cramped, even though the Aygo displays better craftsmanship than the i10.
Beim Aygo vermissen könnte, auch wenn der Aygo von der Verarbeitung in manchen Punkten schon dem i10 überlegen war.
Just in time for the 40th birthday of the Golf GTI next year, Volkswagen is putting a special treat on the road for GTI fans. The Golf GTI Club Sport produces 195 kilowatts, and its boost function can increase that to 213 kilowatts for up to 10 seconds. This enables the GTI to sprint from 0 to 100 in just 5.9 seconds, making it the most powerful vehicle in the GTI series so far. Nissan has expanded the selection of engines in the third generation of the X-Trail. The roomy crossover model is now also available with a 4-cylinder turbocharged gasoline engine. The new basic engine gets 120 kilowatts from 1.6 liters of capacity and is highly efficient. The new Nissan X-Trail 1.6 DIGT can be had in Germany from 24,750 euros up. Audi launched the Avant with the claim beautiful wagons are called Avant. The company still stands by that slogan after selling 2.5 million of the station wagon models. Two-thirds of all Audi A4s are station wagons, and Audi wants to continue this success story with the new Avant under the slogan Truth in Engineering, emphasizing the car's efficiency and driver assist systems. Car tester Reinhold Deisenhofer says Audi's designers have shown how less is more. The new Audi A4 Avant weighs less but has more storage space. Other than that, the design has hardly changed because why mess with a good thing? The new Audi Avant is 120 kilograms lighter than its predecessor and comes with a choice of 7 different engines. The 2-liter TFSI Ultra produces 140 kilowatts and accelerates the car to 100 in 7.5 seconds. Audi says this variant needs 5.6 liters of gasoline per 100 kilometers. When it comes to the interior, says Reinhold, Audi's craftsmanship and ergonomics are the industry benchmark. He's impressed by the intelligent adaptive cruise control with its predictive efficiency assists. The cruise control and the sat-nav work together. For example, the system knows that a town is coming behind the approaching hill, so that it makes no sense to step on the gas. The car knows it's time to slow down, and that saves fuel. On a country road, the system autonomously brakes and accelerates, for example, before and after a curve. It also recognizes traffic signs, and depending on whether the suspension is set to sporty or comfortable, it calculates how to take a curve without boring or scaring the driver, respectively. Reinhold says this step toward autonomous driving takes some getting used to, but then it's a lot of fun. A lever on the steering wheel activates the assist systems. If the efficiency assistant is running, the driver can take his foot off the pedals and concentrate on steering. In cruise control, the car autonomously adjusts its speed to the circumstances. For example, here in a traffic circle. The new Avant is longer and wider than its predecessor, but otherwise its design is almost identical. Though they are hardly visible, modifications to air intakes, an aerodynamically optimized underbody, and drastically lowered roof edge spoilers help the Avant reach a drag coefficient value of 0.26, the best in its class. It offers 505 liters of luggage space. That's 15 liters more than its predecessor. The interior has a freestanding display and Audi's all-digital combination instrument virtual cockpit. Reinhold says the A4 Avant is almost as brawny as its big brother, the A6, at least when viewed from the back. The trunk has grown to encompass 1,510 liters. Its floor has 2 sides, kind of like a coin. The outermost is carpeted for expensive luggage. The inner plate is fine for your rubber boots or dirty garden tools. The electrical hatchback closes automatically, and Reinhold wouldn't want to do without the predictive efficiency assistant, but it comes only in the tour package, which costs an extra 1,640 euros. The Essen Motor Show is one of Europe's leading fairs on tuning and sports cars. This year, almost 360,000 visitors headed to the exhibition halls. More than 500 companies exhibit sports cars, the latest from the world of tuning, motorsports, and classic cars. And the hottest car trends are on display as well. Sidney Hoffman, an expert on tuning, says that the trends have remained the same, but that slowly the quality of products has improved. As always, rims are getting bigger and bigger, and this year quality and performance have become noteworthy, he says. Wide cars and bolt-on kits have become an established trend as well. Hoffman believes it will remain popular for another year or two.
Ich würde sagen, das ist für 1-2 Jahre noch die Zukunft.
This Honda Integra was custom built by the Swiss R Performance Company. Many of its components, like its doors, are made of carbon fiber. Carbon as a tuning material is another trend of this fair. James Bond and his cars. A special section of the fair is dedicated to showcasing models that fans will recognize from films like GoldenEye, Tomorrow Never Dies, and The Spy Who Loved Me. The Aston Martin DB5 is the epitome of Bond and well known from films like Goldfinger and Thunderball. Bond would like this too. Exhibition Hall 3 boasts show cars, prototypes, and design studies. This GEA by Italdesign Giugiaro is a futuristic luxury car with maximum comfort that can drive autonomously. The Slingshot by Polaris is an auto for fun lovers. It's built in the USA and now available in Germany. It has a power output of 128 kilowatts and a maximum speed of 220 kilometers per hour, and accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 5.6 seconds. But as far as traffic law is concerned, it's a tricycle. The Splinter may look like it's made of chocolate, but it's actually made of wood. Joe Harmon, an American, began constructing it in 2007 while a student. The Splinter looks like a Lamborghini, has a 7-liter Chevrolet V8 engine, and an output of 500 kilowatts.
So my whole life I wanted to design and build my own car, and this was my opportunity to do that. Wood has a better strength to weight ratio than steel and aluminum, so we thought it would make a really interesting challenge to build an entire car out of wood.
Of course, we want to see the Splinter in action, a real pleasure for Joe, who fires up the wooden racer. This leather Audi A4 convertible with an appearance like soft nougat. It's displayed in the Tuning Experience, 2 exhibition halls with 150 tuned cars with private owners from across Europe. The rusty Slamington, in contrast, is more like a toasted almond compared with the other tuned vehicles. This burned-out BMW 535i was transformed into a racing beast with almost 370 kilowatt output. Today we're test driving Volkswagen's first car with a 16-valve engine, the Scirocco II. VW released the second generation of the successful sports coupé in March 1981. Named after a hot Sahara wind, the new Scirocco boasted exclusive design and reliable mass production technology. Our car tester Christoph Bauer admits he has ambivalent feelings about the Scirocco II. After all, it's synonymous with the 80s, that notorious era of ill-advised taste. Think shoulder pads, baggy jeans, net tops, and sugar-sweet German pop. The car fit right into the disco age, even though it boasted an illustrious lineage. The Scirocco's predecessor was the VW Carmen Ghia. It combined the chassis and technology of the Beetle with styling by the Italian designer Luigi Segre. The first Scirocco came out in 1974. VW supplied the mechanics, while the design was the work of Giorgetto Giugiaro, who had also penned the Golf. For the second generation, Volkswagen took charge of the design itself. Christoph recalls the slogan "excitingly sensible" used to advertise the Scirocco II. It sounds contradictory, but it hits the nail on the head. This was a family-friendly car. It had 4 seats, the interior was more spacious than its predecessors, and on top of that, it was fuel-thrifty because of its sporty aerodynamic body. That covers the sensible part, but with just 112 horsepower, it was hardly exciting. That only changed in 1985 with the introduction of this model, the GTX, and its exciting 139 horsepower. The improved performance was a reaction to slow initial sales that lagged behind the model's predecessor. VW urgently needed to win over a younger clientele. The 16-valve engine goes from 0 to 100 in just 8.1 seconds. This acceleration performance doesn't stop till 208 kilometers per hour. Those are respectable values. And to ensure that it stops with as much precision, the car was equipped with disc brakes on all 4 wheels. Christoph points out that the GTX 16V's body also took its cue from sports cars and was initially equipped with one of the most popular accessories of the time, the X1 all-round spoiler set from Karl May. Later, the parts were supplied by VW, like here. The rear spoiler pressed the car firmly onto the road. It was made of rubber, typically enough for the 1980s. In comparison with the angular first generation of Sciroccos, the second generation seems much more grown up. The gently rounded edges reduce air resistance and thus fuel consumption. The chassis is now 20 centimeters longer, increasing space inside. Well-shaped sports seats add a bit of pizzazz to the otherwise sober interior. Christoph points out the letters DOHC 16V, which stands for double overhead cam. 2 overhead camshafts and 16 valves, 2 intake and 2 exhaust valves on each cylinder. This technology squeezes all of 139 horsepower from the 1.8-liter engine, 27 horsepower more than with the 8-valve engine. VW first unveiled this 16-valve technology at the IAA in 1983, and in 1985, in the Scirocco II, Volkswagen's first 16-valve engine was in the dealerships. Despite its front-wheel drive, the Scirocco offers plenty of driving fun. Its 16-valve engine can even challenge a Porsche 924. Christoph says he has never driven a Scirocco II before, but still feels immediately at home in it. All the controls and buttons are right where you'd expect them, so you don't need to study a thick instruction manual, and that makes the Scirocco II likable, as far as Christoph is concerned. But it never became a bestseller. In 11 years of production, only 300,000 were manufactured. The first generation of Sciroccos saw 500,000 produced in just 7 years. Our car tester sums up. The Scirocco II is practical, robust, reliable, and with the 16-valve engine, sporty too. And judged by the aesthetic standards of the 80s, maybe it's pretty, or at least up to date. Nonetheless, it never sold like it was expected to, and eventually another VW product put it out of its misery, the Corrado. The Corrado began rolling off the assembly line in 1988 and was simply more powerful and more modern. So, production of the Scirocco II ceased in 1992, but not before its 16-valve engine made it a milestone in automotive history. The Scirocco II set the standard of 4 valves per cylinder across the industry, and the Scirocco's name hasn't been forgotten. In 2008, VW began building the third generation of the sports coupe.